and people say, do you think it's safe to get vaccinated? I've said, yeah, I think for the most part it's safe to get vaccinated. I do.
He was doing so well if he just stopped here, however.
But if you're like 21 years old and you say to me, should I get vaccinated? I go, no.
And boom goes the dynamite.
Are you healthy? Are you a healthy person? Like, look, don't do anything stupid, but you should take care of yourself. You should, if you're a healthy person and you're exercising all the time and you're young and you're eating well, like, I don't think you need to worry about this.
So bad and so wrong on so many different levels. Rogan's saying this.
You know, in some states, thousands of people, nobody young, below the age of 18, like nobody. They have a strong immune system. Who knows?
Is the same energy an incompetent white supremacist president gives off.
This is my COVID protection. Make America healthy again. It's time to fire Fauci. Like, that is not COVID protection, you total moron. That is wrong.
Conspiracy theorist nutjob Marjorie Taylor Greene, same energy as Rogan in fighting COVID.
And this is particularly important for our athletes who put themselves through quite a bit of exertional stress on the playing field, where exercise can be a trigger for something like an arrhythmia or cardiac arrest if there is inflammation in the heart muscle called myocarditis.
Even if in shape, the virus does not somehow ignore the healthy and fit, Joe.
And, you know, I can tell you as someone who's both my children got the virus, it was nothing. Like, no big deal. No coughing, no achy, no like in agony. There was none of that. It was very mild.
Well, I'm happy your kids did not have terrible side effects. Unfortunately, that's not the case for everyone's kids. As we've discussed previously, recent high school graduate Eli Sevener was a pitcher on his high school team. His brother tweeted he had been taken off life support due to complications stemming from coronavirus. California University of Pennsylvania defensive lineman Jermaine Stevens Jr. died from a blood clot in his heart after he contracted COVID-19. He was just 20 years old. Varsity football player Mac Bowman returned home from a 5-day stay at Helen DeVos Children's Hospital, where he was treated for MIS-C. He developed the inflammatory condition roughly a month after testing positive for COVID. This was in November. His positive test was in October. Keyshawn Perry, just 14, saw his condition worsen even after 4 negative COVID tests. Doctors would eventually diagnose Key with COVID, but that would prove to be only the beginning. They found another problem he had developed: myocarditis. We find more myocarditis in athletes because they tend to be better screened when kids and teens come to us asking to return to highly competitive sports. We're more aggressive in evaluating their cardiac condition, and I believe that's the reason we're finding more myocarditis in this population, said Perry's doctor. These are countless examples, none of which it seems reached Rogan. Dr. Anthony Fauci responded.
So you have to put a little bit of societal responsibility in your choices. And that's why I disagree with Mr. Rogan. And even if you don't have any symptoms, you are propagating the outbreak, because it is likely that you, even if you have no symptoms, that you may inadvertently and innocently then infect someone else who might infect someone who really could have a problem with a severe outcome. So if you want to only worry about yourself and not society, then that's okay. But if you're saying to yourself, even if I get infected, I could do damage to somebody else, even if I have no symptoms at all. And that's the reason why you've got to be careful and get vaccinated.
But this just ain't enough to convince Rogan, apparently.
But it's amazing that that's controversial.
Yeah.
That even saying that I'm not going to inject my child with the vaccine is controversial.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Because again, we are not talking about even the flu.
What he's doing is just like his attacks on trans kids and Colin Kaepernick. It displays he shows no empathy. He thinks because it does not affect him the way it did, say, Torrin Howard of Connecticut, who died of COVID at just 26 years old. To Rogan, it's unrelatable to show the compassion. As the United States, through a failed administration's lack of care for its citizens that had no plans other than saying, it'll disappear or it's not a big deal, families are torn apart through the death of loved ones and or the politicization of science. If you're a person who is debating whether or not to get a vaccine because Joe Rogan told you not to, let's remember that after a turn on the seriously underrated news radio, Joe Rogan rose to fame by hosting Fear Factor and commentating on MMA, where he called reporter Maggie Hendricks a "see you next Tuesday," and then apologized by calling her a B-word. He let Alex Jones spread his right-wing lunacy on his show, including his BS takes on masks and COVID. He encouraged Tulsi Gabbard to run for president. He rails against cancel culture. The Spotify staff thinks he's transphobic. Even Caitlyn Jenner has called him out for being a bigoted jerk. Even if Rogan solidified a $100 million deal with Spotify to carry his podcast, his anti-vax, anti-science comments in return are penniless.
If you'd like to hear more thought-provoking content like TYT Sports on Facebook and to help in my journey to keep media independent, go to tyt.com/Rick.